Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to do a little bit of a different video, not a haul, not a vlog. I want to do more of an informative video of a topic that I've been seeing circulate a lot on YouTube, and I want to put my 2 cents in, and I get questions here and there about if I have an employee, what I have my employee do, how much I pay my employee, all sorts of questions about that. So I want to do an informative video on that. So I'm going to start off by saying that everybody is in different places in their video, and that oh my gosh, I'm going nuts today. Sorry. Everybody is in different places in their business. So just because you see one YouTuber or one person on social media has an employee, has help, whatever the case may be, has a virtual assistant, whatever the case may be, doesn't mean that you need one also. So I think it's so important. Again, I've been in business for almost 6 years, actually. It's about five and a half, I don't know, but I've been in business for a while, not just this industry, but I also have my other online business as well. And it is so important to know when not to waste money, is what the bottom line is. Because if you have an employee, when you really don't need an employee, you are wasting money, is what it is. Now, essentially what you are doing when you have an employee is you are getting somebody else's time at a cost, is what you're doing. And I particularly do need an employee just because I run 2 businesses, and it's extremely difficult to, let alone run 2 businesses, and to maintain my eBay store the way I want it to be. It's just really important to really navigate when you need your employee. So I'm gonna give you guys my experience. I cannot give anybody else's experience because I've never lived anybody else's experience. I can just give my personal experience. So I generally, from a day to day, I am running my other business as well as sourcing and finding merchandise. That is really what my job is. I don't feel comfortable hiring somebody to source for me. That is out of the question, because then at that point it becomes, why do I need to work for you if I can source myself? And so I don't want to get into anybody sourcing for me. I need to be the one that's sourcing. So that does take up a lot of time. Not to say that you cannot do both, but like I said, I do run my other business. So it's close to impossible for me to photograph the amount of clothes that needs to be photographed, list, and run the other business all within not 24 hours, but all within a day of work. So I am always working. If you know me, my friends and family know, Eddie especially, he lives with me. I am always working. I wake up at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and I start my day with emails, looking at eBay, doing all that stuff. I then go to the gym, I have my breakfast, and I'm still working while I'm eating my breakfast. I'm doing, you know, all that, and then I work all day long. When I get home, I clean, like about 5 o'clock I clean, I spend some time with Eddie. He goes to sleep very early, so, which Eddie is my fiance, if you guys are not familiar with my channel. He goes to sleep very early. I do not go to sleep until about midnight. That's usually the time I go to sleep, and during from like 9 to midnight, I'm like watching TV, listing, getting things done in that sense. So I physically do not have the time. So what happens when you don't have the time? You either, one, if you don't have the resources, you just stop what you're doing and just don't do it. Or 2, you hire out. And what I did is exactly that. I hired out. I'm just talking about my one business. I'm not talking about my other business. I'm talking about the one eBay, Poshmark, Instagram selling, all that. So that's what I'm talking about. So back in December, during December, I get very, very slammed, very little sleep, and I love it, but it's very hectic. So I was also starting my other business, was really starting to pick up, the eBay business. And my cousin, who was 15 at the time, she needed a job. And so I said, okay, I'll hire you. So I hired her, and I've seen different ways that people hire their employees for their eBay business. I've seen people drop off the stuff to them. I've seen there's just so many different ways. And if you watch other YouTubers, maybe you'll see it there. So I don't want to drop off things to somebody else. I want somebody to come to my house. But since I do work from home and I don't have an office anymore, I don't want to open my house to just a stranger or something like that. I mean, this is my house. Like, this is where I live. This is, you know, like, this is my house. And it's not fair to Eddie either that he would have to be subjected to having a stranger in his home when, you know what I mean? So, of course, my first cousin, my aunt's daughter, was the perfect solution for me. She is an amazing girl, and obviously she's my first cousin, so I've known her since she was born. And she's so hardworking, you guys. She's really hardworking. And she's not like a typical young teenager that, you know, like, she gets what she needs to get done. She always wants more work, which is why now I'm giving her more work. And she wants to get things done. So that's what works for me. I have had in the past, when I had an office, I had another employee that was recommended to me. She was going into college, and it was a disaster. When I tell you disaster, packages were going to the wrong people. It was just like, she just didn't care, and it was awful. Well, I am having a different experience with my cousin, and I don't necessarily believe it's just because she's my cousin that she does a good job. She genuinely cares, like, and you see it in other things that she does in her life. So what I'm saying is that sometimes hiring somebody that's young could be a double-edged sword because they don't care. Sometimes they don't care, which is the experience I had in the past, but that's not the experience I'm having with my cousin. So the duties I have her do, it's very, during the school year, she was working. She would get here at 4, work till about 8 or 9. So during the school year, obviously the hours were a little different. So she was working 3 times a week, 4 to 9 is what I needed her for. So 4 to 9, that's about 8:39. It depended on the day. She would get here between 4 and 5. So roughly 4 hours, 3 times a week. So that's 12 hours she was working, and I pay $10 an hour. I know some people pay per listing. I pay $10 per hour. I've always paid that, even when I've had employees in the past. That's always been the starting salary for me, has been $10 an hour. And I pay contract labor. I do not have them on salary. I do not take out tax. I pay contract labor, which I did go to school for accounting. So I pay contract labor. I write a check to Kate, to whoever the employee's name is, and then I put as contract labor, and that's what I put it on in my books as, contract labor. So during the school year, it was a little more difficult because, of course, she's in high school, and I don't want to stop her from doing things that she, you know, a high schooler should be doing. So it's a little more difficult. Now, during the summer, she came to me and she wants more work, so I'm giving her more work. Before, I had her just strictly photographing. I didn't have her listing. I didn't have her building drafts, nothing. I just had her photographing and measuring. That's all I had her doing. And now that she wants more work and things are a little different, I've been very busy. I get very busy in the summer because I sell a lot of sunglasses on eBay as well as my other website. And so I get very busy in the summer. I know some people, like, that's what I'm seeing on social, like, when something is slow, you gotta just, like, counter it and find what is not slow during that time. So I guess over the years, I have found how I need to navigate my summers so they're not slow, and then we go straight into the holidays. So I had her just photographing is strictly what I had her doing, and now she wants more work. So what I have her doing now, which I think is I actually wrote it out so I can talk about it. So I have her creating now, I have her photographing, measuring, as well as now creating the drafts for me. So it's a lot easier for me to go in and manage them. So I have her, I wrote her out because just so, like, you know, sometimes there's questions. Like, you have to remember also when you're delegating, when you have an employee, like, you cannot just automatically think, and it's hard for me to do this, you cannot just think, okay, they should know what to do, like, this is easy. No, because it's just because it's easy to us or to you or to me, it's not easy to somebody that's just being thrown into this, which I always have to tell myself. So I wrote her out on a paper exactly what she is to do. That way, if she has any questions, she can just refer to the paper before having to ask me. So she lists an item, she types in the designer, she just starts by listing the designer, or by creating a listing. She does the designer, and then usually, like, if she, like, let's say it's like a DVF dress, she'll put in DVF dress in the what you want to create. It'll pop up, it'll be women's dress using the brand, so that's that. Title, I don't have her do the title just because I don't think she's there and I don't want to overwhelm her so much. I think for me, making a title, I make them like that. So that doesn't make sense. It takes me maybe like a minute to make each title. So it's just easier for me to go in and do that once she's done. Category comes up. So for the category, it comes up usually when you type in like DVF dress, it comes up women's clothing, dress, whatever. Condition, I always have her, I told her, I said it's usually always going to be pre-owned. And if it's pre-owned, you know, you put the condition, because sometimes something may have a stain or a thing, or it may be in very good condition, so she just types in whatever the condition is in. She's been doing that, she's good at that. And then obviously if it's actual Newa tags, you put Newa tags. So item specifics. What I did to break this down, because the item specifics could get a little tricky, so I sat with her, I explained to her, I gave her the chart for shirt styles, dress styles, so that way she could refer to the chart. So the size type is regular. I told her it's I mainly only sell regular, so I told her it's usually always regular, unless it's petite or plus and it says it on the tag, then you know. Material, obviously she knows how to find the material. Style, I tell her to refer to the chart and she figures out what the style is. I also went through, I explained what certain styles are and whatnot. Pattern, obviously that's an easy one, so she selects the pattern. Color, I told her to, if it has majority of one color, this seems very basic, but I'm just telling you guys exactly what I do. I told her if it has, like, let's say it's a shirt and it has some blue and white, but it has majority blue, I told her to put it under blue. Or if it has like a lot of colors, you know, multicolor, so I told her that. And then season, I always just, you know, that's like an easy one. So photos, ooh, sorry, I just kicked my foot fell asleep. Photos, obviously she goes through, okay. Obviously with the photos, she does that first. She photographs and measures first, and then she crops it to make sure it's perfect in the listing. And then the description, she just puts the size, the measurements, and then she copy and paste the thing to make it a mobile listing. So then when I go in, all I have to do is just price it, put the title, and make sure the shipping is right, and then boom, list. So it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to do each one. And that has been working really well for us. She's doing very well. So that's what I have her do, and I pay her once a week at the end of the week. Usually she comes on Fridays, so I just give her a check on Friday, made out to her name. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have her do, and it works. It seems to work for us. It really, I would not be able to list the amount of stuff that I list unless I had her doing that. So she does really good work. I only had like one issue the first time. I think I vlogged it like a really long time ago, like back in January, beginning of January, that the measurements, like, you know, we had to go over that again. But other than that, I've never had any issues with her. It's just been really straightforward. I know that there's different ways that people get an employee in this type of business, but this is just what works for me. I like to physically, it's just easier for her to be here. And I use an iPad to take the pictures. So that's what she uses to list and everything. And it just works for us that way. And she's pretty quick, I have to say. She's pretty quick. She's working more now in the summer. I just think I see so many people get caught up, and it used to happen to me when I first started off, and I made poor business decisions based on what I thought I should be doing and what other people were doing. I mean, this would happen to me like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I would get very caught up in like what other companies were doing, what other people were doing. And the only thing it really did was make me lose a ton of money, because I was trying to do things that I just wasn't ready for, and it just didn't work. Like when you're not ready for something, it's not gonna work no matter what. No matter what the circumstance, it's not gonna work. And that's what was happening with me. Was I was seeing like these big companies do things, and I was like, I need to do this. Like I need to do this, and I wasn't there, and it just didn't work. So I think Instagram is such a good tool, but I think it can also be such a negative, because people get caught up in what other people are doing. Like even if you're watching my video about this and maybe you're not necessarily ready for an employee, like that's okay. Like that is perfectly okay. I wish I didn't need to pay somebody else to do what I could do. I wish I could do all the work. I mean, the more work you do yourself, the more money. But then again, it's like, see, there's such like a double thing to it, because the more work you can do yourself, obviously the more money you're making yourself, but then you're not making as much money because you don't have all that time. So it is good to delegate when you're ready. Now, let's say you're somebody that likes to list extra slow because you like to watch Netflix, or you like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with that. Everybody should list at their own pace. Everybody should do everything at their own pace. But let's say you find yourself having a lot of free time. You have a lot of free time, and then you're hiring somebody, and then you're complaining about not making enough money. Like that doesn't make sense. Like that's not how things work, you know? You should hire like this eBay business. This is the thing. This is how it boils down. People think, now I'm getting into something else, so I'm gonna leave that for another rant. But more of the story is that people think when you work for yourself, you have all this free time, and you lay on the couch and you take a nap. That's not how shit works. If you're really trying to make a living, you don't do those things. Like that's not reality. So what I'm saying is, just do what's best for you. Don't do what's best for other people. Do what's best for you. If you feel you need an employee, then get an employee. This video is just to serve as how I know a lot of people ask how you pay, what do you delegate to them, and that's it, guys. That's what I do. That's what works for me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it to have value. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below in the comment sections. I'll be happy to answer any questions and give any advice that I can, any advice I can offer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys like these type of videos that I sit down and like talk, not really like a haul or a vlog, let me know and I'll definitely film a few more. There are a few more that I want to film like this, probably not this week, but I will be filming those soon. So thanks for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Give it a thumbs down. So I will see you guys in my video tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.